simple ingredients to change your life. It's not a big drawn out process sometimes. Number one, you need to make a decision. Indecision is chaotic. It puts you in a chaotic state. It's fuzziness. You don't know what's happening. So make a decision. Motivation, that's like the fuel or the juice, when you're motivated. So what is it that gives you like what gives you that excitement, that zeal, that tenacity for life? Because that's the desire, that's the juice, the excitement. You want to have that, you want to live, that will to live. And sometimes we're not motivated because it comes and goes, so we're looking for somebody to really push us or to motivate us. So decision, motivation, consistency. Consistency without motivation can still get you results because you're doing it just to do it, almost like a habitual thing. There's not a lot of emotion involved. You're not like thrilled to do it. But you're consistent at it. You'll still get results from consistency. Discipline is giving yourself a command and following through with it. You're doing it regardless. Doesn't matter rain or shine. You are so disciplined. And this really comes from the way that I do it is think of it as like there's two of you. There's the higher you and the lower you, right? The higher you, one of them's in command at all times. It's either the lower version or the higher version. The higher version of you is the one who needs to tell the lower version needs to submit to that higher version. I guess that's a better way of putting it. The lower version of you submits to the higher version. And the higher version's the one who is productive, who is clear, who has self-control, who works and moves and flows with integrity, intention, who's confident. This is the higher version of you. The lower version of you is the whiner, the complainer, the victim. It's the one who has more of the excuses, the one who doesn't want to show up. I want to live by my feelings. And, that's the lower version of you. So it's always this constant battle. Now, women, we're on a monthly cycle. Men are on a daily cycle. So this is different. It's going to be different depending on your cycle for a woman, because depending on what stage you're in during your menstrual cycle, like, for example, when I'm on my period, my lower version takes over. I want ice cream. I want to lay around. Sometimes you have to allow your body to just reset and indulge in that certain area. I might eat more ice cream during that time. I want to rest. I'm not pushing myself. That's healthy. Pushing yourself when you need to rest is not the way to do it. So you have to understand that you're in a rhythm, and during that rhythm, you know when to push yourself. So, for example, after your period, you're going to be, you could download one of those apps. I actually use the Lively app, and obviously if you're not on your cycle anymore and you're through menopause, you're in a different state. But if you are, you can do activities based on your cycle syncing. Same thing with foods, how to nourish, what to do, but the overall consistency is the same. For example, I enjoy sunlight. I enjoy walks. I do it every day. So I'm incorporating these talks in something that I enjoy doing every day. I might not be hitting the gym hard every day, every week, multiple, times or whatever, because I'm basing it off of my cycle or what I'm doing during that season. So if you can get the basics down, it allows you to have room for a little bit indulgence. For example, yesterday we celebrated my daughter's birthday. My other daughter baked a cake. She said, "Mom, I only used 9 sticks of butter." I'm like, oh, of course we had to all eat it. She's the first time baking this 3-layer cake, vanilla buttercream. But of course, after the first slice, we are all like heavy. It's heavy. And then my daughter, whose birthday, she wanted to go out for pizza. So we went out for pizza. You got to give yourself that space to enjoy. But what's interesting is my kids noticed how they felt after eating that, though. And one of them said they had a headache. It was too much sugar. And she baked it from scratch using good ingredients, powdered sugar, things like that. But still, it's sugar and it's heavy. So one of them said they had a headache. One of them had a stomach ache. One of them was tired. It was all three. So I said, well, this is really good for you to understand how you feel after the decisions you make. Because sometimes things sound so good. Let's stay up till 1 o'clock, watching a movie, or let's go drink. As you get older, obviously my kids, I'm not talking to them about that, but as you get older, you notice how you feel after you made that decision. So how do you feel after you worked out? How do you feel after you spent quiet time with God? How do you feel after you went for a walk? How do you feel after you gave your body rest? You took that bath, you ate something healthy. So you're noticing how you're feeling and how you're responding to the choices that you make. Because you make the choices and then you respond to those choices. Your life becomes a response to the decisions and the choices that you make. So number one, make the decision that you want to live a healthy, simple, elevated life. This could be anywhere. You don't necessarily need to move off the grid or to another country. You can do it right where you're at. That's what this is all about. Organic modern living is cultivating that mindset and that way of life in such a simple way, not overcomplicating it at all, and doing it right where you're at. If there are elements in your life that make things easier for you, you're tapping into the modern elements. Like, it's easier for me to use an earbud. Somebody called me out on it the other day. Well, that's convenient for me. So you're tapping into modern things. Now, I'm fully aware of EMFs. I turn my phone on airplane mode at night. I try to limit Wi-Fi, but you're living in such a digital world that you can't get away from it. Even if you go off the grid, you're gonna have chemtrails above you for the most part. Like, you can't get rid of it, but you can do specific things to help lessen that. For example, in the kitchen, we just upgraded our pots and pans and our cookware to stainless steel. It's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. Yes, it's hard. Non-stick is more convenient. There's non-toxic non-stick pans, but we just decided to go for stainless steel and figure out how to use it a little bit better. And it's a simple move. It's like one easy set that goes all together. You don't need 50 pots and pans and cookware. It's just a simple set, 10-piece set with the lids, that can be used in the oven. And gosh, where was I going with this? Sometimes I do that and lose my train of thought. Well, this is a simple move to do in an elevated way that you can do right where you're at to create a non-toxic home or more of an organic home. You could do it in your home no matter where you live with these certain things. Do we have a microwave? Yeah, it's built in. We still use it. I know microwaves aren't good for you. However, it's still convenient. Oh, I know what I was getting to. I don't necessarily, I don't at all. We don't have air fryers, panini makers, a lot of kitchen gadgets like that. I just chose not to. There's no crock pot. I just think a lot of extra things like that to cook takes away from the actual cooking. I think just grilling and baking is all you need. I know people like air fryers. There's a lot of controversy around them being bad for you or good for you, or crock pots not being good for you. I personally don't like the house smelling like food all the time. I like it smelling like air and freshness. Not too much fragrance, but just a natural, neutral, clean smell. So I don't like things simmering for hours and then eating a big pile of mush that's been cooking all day. I like it fresh. Came off the grill, you eat it right after that. It's simple, it's fresh. You can prep and store those things and then reheat them on the stovetop, oven, or microwave, or however you choose. Again, it's all about preference. There's such a broad spectrum depending on what works for you. So this is not saying you have to do one way or the other or whatever. It's just simple, elevated living. And that means you do learn to live with less. My closet and my clothes, I rotate through. In the summertime, I keep it super simple. Tanks, shorts, rompers. I just keep it simple, and because that works for me. I like the athletic wear because I can bounce back and forth from being outside, cleaning the home, running to the store, working out. For me, that works. So you're simplifying. So I don't have this huge closet of stuff. I have like a couple purses and a couple sundresses and things that I wear and use. If there's stuff that's not being used or worn, I get rid of it. course, if it's seasonal, you set that aside for winter. So you have some winter jackets and things like that. But for the most part, I keep it so simple. I don't, personally, this is me, I don't want to have 50 belts and 100 purses and 200 pairs of shoes. I don't want a wall full of shoes. It's too many choices. I want what I like, and that's it, simple. So it's just a different mindset than feeling like, oh, I have to have all these different things and all of these options. Again, personally, I feel like too many options is the problem. If you're feeling anxious at home, you probably have too many options, too many decorative pieces, too many vases, too many pillows in there. So all of this is just too much. And if you pull back and you simplify, you're gonna feel better. It's the balance of having a nice space and having it cozy. You don't have to suffocate your home to make it feel cozy. You're suffocating the walls and you're suffocating your family. You could find a nice balance between, and you might feel better. You might actually be like, wow, this really is triggering more than I realized by having so much, too many options and too many things to get through, rotate through, dig through, organize, sort. Same thing when you open up that drawer. Too much. This is a really simple way, but like the junk drawer or your utility drawer. My pens, they all match. I don't want a bunch of mismatched pens from different places that we collected over the years. There's a certain pen I like, which is the G2 Pilot. It writes really nice. I got a fine point, and then another one. You could buy it in a pack. I just keep those in there. Why have a bunch from all over the place? It's just simple. You grab what you need. It's simple. And these are the sneakers that I like. I get these because they're washable. I wear them out. Look, this one's getting a hole because I walk so much, but they're super comfortable and well made. I don't like Nike. I don't want to promote Nike. So I buy these and I just wear them until they wear out. You're probably thinking, if they're well made, why are they getting a hole? Because I walk so much and I have like 3 pair that I just rotate through, throw them in the wash. I like them being lightweight so they're not heavy. I personally don't like those big chunky soles where the shoes are like 10 pounds. Those are lightweight and my feet don't sweat because it's hot here. I look for things that are just convenient and comfortable to run around in. So you're not overcomplicating life. I feel like we overcomplicate things so much, like our food. One of the things I learned when I was doing more fitness training was the sauces and the dressings, like it's the hidden fats in those extra things, like the extra sauce, the extra butter, the extras. And it's so much easier to just grill or use like olive oil, coconut oil, limit the butter, obviously, if you're trying to lean up, avocado oil, but you're limiting like the seed oils and the refined, oils. So it's the extra little things, those extra ingredients, keeping things like super simple, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, whatever. So you keep it really simple and your body functions better because it doesn't have to like figure out what to do with all this extras. Where's this going? Where's this going? Okay, I'm just going to store this in the fat here. I don't know what this ingredient is. This is going to cause inflammation. Now you got a stomach ache and gut problems. And part of this journey that I've been on, I had major gut problems. Like my stomach hurt all the time. I was bloated all the time, like massively bloated. Acne issues, like skin issues, dry spots, eczema, really itchy, dry legs, hormones were imbalanced, minerals were all off, so my hair was really brittle. It broke and it was starting to come out in like chunks. All of this was triggered by the lifestyle that I was allowing and the lifestyle that I was living for so long. Now, again, this is just my personal experience, but the lifestyle had triggered that. It was a lot of rushing, a lot of stress, massive to-dos, like too many obligations, trying to show up for everybody, everywhere, a lot of shopping and indulging because that was a stress. I felt like, it's a stress relief. How many women say shopping therapy? Yeah, it's therapy until you have to deal with it all. It's therapy until you have to pay the credit cards you use. It's therapy until you have to figure out where to put it. Now you're frustrated because you don't know where to put it. And you end up thinking, I need a bigger space. I need a bigger home. Like we've all been there. I'm actually thinking about downsizing even more. See, could I simplify even more than what we already have? Like, let's see how simplified we can really create life. How peace is like the people, as you get older, you realize, I want peace. I want simplicity. I don't need all this nonsense. I don't need drama and extras and storages full of stuff. I just want peace and a simple life, and to honor God and be a good spouse and a good parent, and just walk the righteous path. It's become, that's the desire. That's where I'm at. And I'm glad, I wish I knew it 10 years ago. I'm glad I'm figuring it out now. But you don't need all this excess and extra and chaos and noise and being involved in everybody's problems. And it's so much noise. When you simplify, what you're doing is you're removing the noise. You're removing the chaos and the fuzziness. You're untangling your life, like pulling one string at a time to untangle. And then you're learning, do I want to do this, engage in this activity, knowing the results it's going to give me, knowing the fruit that it's going to give me. Like, you already know the results of it. Do you want to do that? And that's what I would say is, I already know what I'm going to feel like if I drink, how I'm going to feel the next day. Do I want to trade my tomorrow for tonight? Do I want to trade my future self for this urge or this indulgence on buying this thing that I don't need right now? So you start thinking with a little bit more clarity than you normally would. And you just do your best every day. A little bit of progress every day is better than no progress at all. A little bit in the right direction is better than a little bit in the wrong direction. You get to choose every day. And the more you go in the right direction, the more advancements you're going to make. So you really have the control to go as quickly or as slow as you want to go based on whatever works for you. And maybe you want to give yourself a burst season. Like, I have a video about that where you give yourself a 90-day burst season. You go as fast as you can, hardcore in that 90 days. Like, you really want to make a change, you just go all in on your goals and simplifying for that 90 days, and then see where you're at in 90 days.